It is fine. You can get some use out of it, but it's clunky. The dispersal stuff is weird. Some encounters it just won't work. There's going to be some DM variation that talks about how it actually performs. It's going to be a little bit more hassle than it's worth, which is probably why I've never seen a player cast it.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Cloudkill.
This is a 5th level conjuration out of the player's handbook. Despite this spell being in the game for what feels like actually forever, I don't know if I've ever seen a player cast it. I've cast it as a monster, but I've never cast it from a player's perspective, which is, I don't know, that's just a little observation, I don't think
It
it's that
feels
bad.
it feels difficult to use effectively.
I think what
Or
really turns people off is one line text. So we'll get there when we get there. Sound good?
all right, yeah.
So I don't even know if this has that line of text. It's concentration up to 10 minutes, range is 120 feet, cast times in action. Concentration is always tall order. You create a 20-foot radius sphere of poisonous yellow-green fog centered on a point you choose within range. It spreads around corners. It lasts the duration or until a strong wind disperses the fog, ending the spell. The area is heavily obscured. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, that creature makes a Constitution saving throw. Enter spells area. Great. The creature takes 5d8 poison damage on a failed save or has much success. Creatures are affected even if they hold their breath or don't need to breathe. The fog moves 10 feet away from you each of your turns, rolling along the surface of the ground. The vapors being heavier than air sink to the lowest level of land, even pouring down openings. That last line text is flavor, but is good that it's included because, it enriches the spell a little bit. I think vast majority of tables play it on a completely flat plane. But,
Well, I mean, if you're playing in a dungeon or something, and there's some, I don't know, sewer drains in there or something that ruins the spell for me.
some of it, yeah. You can have cast for d8 damage above 5th level. You would consider doing that if you were really building into this, and you couldn't get the multiple triggers a turn. So this, to start out, this having a long duration does kind of mean you could just like jam it somewhere without anywhere for it to go, and it will just kill everyone in the space, right?
I was going to ask that. I mean, it does say it moves 10 feet away from you, but I mean, if there's nowhere for it to go, it'll just hang out then.
I would assume, I'm going to Google, does Cloudkill go through walls? I'm going to guess the answer is no. If the answer is yes, I would be amazed. All right, let's check. We'll check that in a bit while it loads. For now, though, the 10 feet away from you bit is kind of clunky. That's the thing that turns most people off from this, right? Like you just pointed out, like it's you put this down. I can't guarantee I can move people into it and stuff like that. It's kind of difficult to get to work. It's still 5d8 damage in fireball area, which is almost fireball. And if you can get something to stick 2 rounds in it, if you can push 1 or 2 things back into this, I do think it out damages it by like a substantial amount and is worth it for that reason. It's just how do you make that happen is the complicated question, right?
See, because I was thinking this would combo nicely with something like Sleet Storm, because this has heavy obscurity. That already has heavy obscurity, so you're not seeing your targets anyway. So you might as well have the chance of knocking them prone and hanging around in there.
And then they'll just like slowly watch Cloudkill pass over them and murder their faces.
But that's what's keeping me from really liking that combo is the Sleet Storm's not going anywhere, but the Cloudkill's moving away.
So I agree. I've read through some discourse on the internet. The answer is it's complicated and that it will like disperse out against the wall is the physics answer. The rules answer is there isn't one, and the other person just said no, it just does and stays in place. Yeah. So the answer is ask your DM if it stops in place at the end of the day. It does genuinely make it feel a lot better if you can get it to stick in a space though, because then it just kills everything in a room, and that's pretty good.
Or forces them. I mean, even if you've got a dead end and a long corridor, you can cast it. Catch a bunch of people in it at first, and then like they have 2 options. They can run out for some temporary reprieve, and then it comes back and gets them, or they can run toward you and you're big ass barbarian.
Yeah, that's I think a cute little use of it. I really wish this wasn't dispersed by strong gusts of wind. Like that, the strong wind is not a high bar to clear, and it makes using it outdoors genuinely a headache. Like if you're on a pirate ship, you just can't use this, period. It doesn't work. If you're on open seas near the water at all, nope, this just doesn't function because there's enough winds to disperse it.
Well, I mean, does strong wind have a definition?
It does. I think it's like 10 miles an hour.
Oh, that's not super strong.
No. It is. I don't remember where these specific rules are. But yeah, it says at least 10-mile-an-hour wind is what this answer on the internet is telling me. So I'm gonna go with that. As for now, comment down below. Let me know what the actual definition of strong wind is from the book and what chapter it's in. That'd be very helpful. All things considered, as far as area effect damage goes, this one's kind of hard to set up, and the damage isn't like that much of a huge payoff. It does have an enormous range, and if you're against slow things or things that want to stay in place, like this kind of like you just stick it in front of them and then push it through the corner. If they have like a 30-foot speed, they'll waste their turns getting out of it and take some damage. And like most spells, I think if they waste a turn getting out of it and take enough damage, it's probably worth the cast. That makes this like a spell that I think will be serviceable on some sheets, but I don't think many spells in this game. I think this is going to be a worse version of a lot of effects, which I think is going to put this comfortably at like a 2 to me. I don't think an average sheet needs nor wants this. It is fine. You can get some use out of it, but it's clunky. The dispersal stuff is weird. Some encounters it just won't work. This is going to be some DM variation that talks about how it actually performs. It's going to be a little bit more hassle than it's worth, which is probably why I've never seen a player cast it.
One thing that's neat though, it moves, but it moves slowly. So if you've got like some frontline guys waiting just outside of it, and people start running out of it, they can do their sentinel stuff, lock them in place, and then you teleport them back in.
You just want to use more
telekinesis back in, huh? Or yeah, there you go.
Scatter. I do think like that this fits along that game plan, and I don't know if this is the best spell for that game plan, but it is a spell that you could definitely include if that's what you want to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like the Sentinel a lot. That seems really cute. Just like jam people in there and stick them in.
There's potential here, but you do have to work for it. But yeah, if high 2 was a thing, I'd do that. But 2 plus.
2 plus. There we go.
There. Yeah, but Cloudkill.
If it did anything else, if it poisoned, if it slowed, if it, I don't know, made people unable to cast somatic or verbal component spells, like give me some extra reason to cast.
That would be because this is a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there it is. That was Cloudkill. Those were our thoughts. We'd love to hear yours down in the comment section below. Other than that, thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. Let us know what you think, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.